Good job. Want to call to order regular meeting of Guadalupe Recreation and Parks Commission meeting Tuesday, April 2nd, 2022. The Recreation and Parks Commission meeting will be broadcast live streamed at the city's Guadalupe's official YouTube channel. If you wish not to attend the Recreation and Parks meeting, but wish to make a comment during the community participation forum or on a specific agenda item, please submit via email to well, no later than 2. Anyway, we didn't get anybody, did we? Moving on. Roll call. And that's for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, you just didn't know.
Joseph Harris,
Here.
Enrique Ortiz, Emily Dreiling,
Here.
Michael Jimenez,
Here.
Arnulfo Navarro. No,
Navarro.
Navarro. I said it
Now
wrong.
you can start. Here.
Oh, Enrique's here.
Thank you.
Sliding into home plate.
Now we'd like to stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Position pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't see anybody for community participation. Let's go to item number 4, the consent calendar. The following items are presented to commission approval without a discussion as a single agenda item in order to expedite the meeting. Should a member of the Recreation and Parks Commission wish to discuss or disapprove an item, it must be dropped from the blanket motion of approval and considered as a separate item. Item A, approve the minutes of the Recreation and Parks Commission regular meeting of March 5th. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
I motion to approve.
We have a motion, we looking for a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion, all those in favor of approving the minutes of March 5th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved, thank you. We're gonna move down to regular business. And we're gonna have a little change. We're gonna go with the introduction of Anise Barajas, our new recreational service manager.
Hello. Hi, I'm Anise Barajas. I am the new Recreation Services Manager, and I am glad to be part of this community and this department. So thank you for having me.
Welcome.
We welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to say anything on this item?
No, we're just happy she's here.
No, really? Okay. Number 5, Leroy Park Community Action Community Center Edition updates. Michael DiMartini.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael DeMartini with Andrew Goodwin Designs, or AGD for short, and we've been working on your addition to the community center. Oh, a mic, all right.
Yeah.
We've been working on your addition to the community center. I'm sure every one of you have had a chance to get out to Leroy Park and explore it and enjoy it in some way. I remember seeing the first flyover, a drone I did of this site, and it was pretty barren and ready for revitalization. And, I think, the design was community driven and how it would be used. And I can only hope it's being used the way we intended. And so this is actually another opportunity. So you're familiar, we have the picnic area, the playground's gone in, and there's some items from the previous bid set that didn't make it in. And we now have the opportunity to build it. And so this right here is a project site. It's the addition of a multi-purpose building with its own restroom and mechanical. It operates independently of the rec center, but it also joins with a couple of doors, so it can be an extension of the existing building. The base bid includes landscaping around the perimeter and irrigation. And this diagram shows some alternates that happen also in the bid package coming up that the budget afford. We have a parking lot upgrade here. We know that the previous build out included a decomposed granite parking lot or a base parking lot, excuse me. This alternate upgrades the parking lot into a blacktop. We have and you can stop me at any time, but we have an alternate 2 here for a picnic addition, and I'll show you a site plan coming up, and then up here, an amphitheater, opportunity for an amphitheater. This is a stage with a canopy for live performances, and then this small alternate here was exercise equipment to be installed along this path. It includes landscaping and other elements that finish the build out. We can go to the next slide. Again, these are just project site location photographs, kind of showing precedent and concept. Then next slide. And next slide. So there it is on the back side. All right, we can go to the next slide. Here's the site plan showing the addition here, right? And then the alternates we talked about, the picnic area, the extended parking upgrade, the fitness equipment, and then back there, the stage. Next slide. And here it is in floor plan. We've got a front entry from the front. The multi-use is 2,200 square feet approximately. Can be used for, medium-sized functions, birthdays, it's adjacent to the playground, so it has a good, accommodates children and things that could happen in groups with large groups of children. We have a janitor's and storage, a mechanical area, and then restroom, and then it has flow through from the back to the front. And then it also has secondary access that can be locked and used independently, or you can access things like the kitchen and some other things that were amenities of the other building. And then this is what it looks like in, construction drawing format. And this is the addition here, and up there. And the next slide. This is a conceptual rendering at the time. Before it was built, this is the extension here, and it's adjacent to the playground. This is the original build out, and the iconic A-frame metal building. And I think that's it. That's what I have. Oh, and this is the approach to that building, which is kind of over here. So we just submitted that to the town for plan check. So it's now, I believe Alice has, if she hasn't today, maybe tomorrow, sending it to a third-party plan checker. And we should have comments back in 10 days or so, and we'll address those and possibly have a permit within the month. And then we'll take it into bidding. So.
Michael, is there a timeline for completion, timeline, estimate, guesstimate?
I'm just gonna turn this off. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
You got it? There we go.
Mic swap.
Got a fire alarm going off. Is there a timeline? Well, construction for that building should happen realistically in like 9 months. It's a prefab metal building, so the soil out there, I can give you the long and short of it, but the short of it is the soil needs to be excavated and there's liquefaction. So there's a lot of prep and foundation work. And once that's done, prefab metal building, it just gets erected in a pretty quick format. Yeah. And then everything, so it's not stick built. So it kind of shortens the time of things. That being said, there are interior finishes and, restroom, all that happens. A lot of the pre-work was done to get HVAC, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing from the other building ready for the connection to that building. Mm-hmm. So those stub outs are ready. Yeah, so there isn't a lot of site work. So you cut out the site work as well, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of, utility infrastructure and all that, which was a large part of the park build out. Yeah. So,
Another question, actually for, Mayor. Is this gonna be part of the, Boys and Girls Club lease, or is this?
No, that's my opinion.
That's your
That it
opinion?
has to be, that's one of the reasons I was concerned about access going, because there was concern that that people that weren't affiliated with Boys and Girls Club would have to go across the restrooms. So you made that, you've got its own independent restroom. And mechanical.
yeah, that's correct. And it's got its own, yeah, exactly. Its
Yeah,
own
so-
mechanical, electrical.
So you can enter, so it's not part of,
access.
it's not part of that. That's my opinion, so. And I think that'll hold true.
Pretty good opinion, right? And
Yeah.
Is there something we have to put in writing about that, that it's a separate? It'll be.
Well, it's never part of the
It
original.
was never part of the original.
No, it wasn't part of
This
the-
is like an additional
Addition.
new thing.
It's a
They-
yeah.
The neighborhood.
And they have never inquired us. to
Like a
whether they
townhome.
want to-
You
No,
can put it on
there's
the-
no requirement.
Just sharing a wall.
Good question.
Michael, is there gonna be any point of inoperability for Boys and Girls Club during the construction of this at all?
That's a good question. No, I don't think so. I believe the general construction and staging could all happen in that secondary parking lot back there. And so it can all happen on that side, and the front use of the park wouldn't be hindered and any of that. So operations could be maintained. They have to put a construction fence up, limiting people's access. Certainly when they're excavating and all that, so. We can go back to the floor plan if you want,
I'd like to see it.
there you go.
Are there separate classrooms in there, or is that just, one huge? For the building?
The dash line.
This is the build out here.
Right.
So all this, there is a classroom aspect or a craft room here.
Yeah, no, but on this side.
On this side, nothing. It's an open vaulted space. It's actually taller than this one. Yeah, it's pretty, we had that discussion for a while. It's a very low line tune, but you know. The intention was to reuse the building. This one's taller. So,
How much taller?
that's a good question. I should know that. I'd say it's 14 feet clear inside.
Okay.
Yeah, on the eave, and then it gets taller.
Still in the museum.
Because we have the ability to design from scratch on that one.
That's good. Any other comments or questions?
Oh, for the, about like 9 months for this to get started, this is just on the build out portion, not including the parking lot or the amphitheater, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, those can happen concurrently. I would imagine the parking lot, if elected to move forward, would be the last thing they do, a way out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of the peripheral stuff can happen concurrently with this construction. And of course, you have to take into account the bidding process is 30 days and, there's a couple months there. You're looking at a year. Yeah.
So is there a design already for the amphitheater in mind already?
Yeah, that's part of the bid package as well, yeah. It's a, I didn't really show that, but it is, we can go to the site plan, we can look at. So, yeah, there it is in the back. So it's it's approximately a 25 by 25 square concrete pedestal stage. It's about 6 inches above the grass out there. There's a small ramp that accesses from the rear for ADA accessibility, and then there's a shade canopy over it.
Okay.
It's a prefab shade canopy. The same company that did the equipment here is going to provide the shade sail, about 20 by 20 feet. There'll be a 50 amp and a 30 amp circuit back there for amplified music.
That's basically diagonally, right?
Yeah, it's facing diagonally and kind of, this back area, it's a lawn chair format, you lay a blanket down, kick back and.
No, that's also,
I mean,
it's exciting.
Are there any concerns there about budget shortfalls considering right? You cost materials, labor. We've experienced it before.
Well, I can answer that. We had an estimate. And of course, there was escalation since we did that. We redid the estimate recently. And Jeff and Danira have they have that, and Todd, they have that current estimate, so. Not much has changed.
Good.
Yeah.
If I may add.
Steel has gone up, but yeah.
Yeah, we, you know, we have that, when the school purchased that land there next to their school, there was 700,000. I don't know what the balance is on that, because we've used, that's for Quimbliac, risk, so that money has to be applied to Quimbliac, which would fit into this. So
Okay.
we've got to figure that out.
What they did is they front loaded some of the first phase with that money.
Okay, so we still need to know the
Yeah,
balance,
yeah,
yeah. And I know that you have,
But
you have,
this grant is 1.7.
well, you have the alternates, just in case, so you have alternates 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is that based on, if there has to be a value added element to this, we can, that, would the plan be to go to alternates? Or do you know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
the intent with the money and all along was to make sure the building got built.
Right, exactly.
And then any peripheral money would be used in the alternate, then you could, you know, they each have different values.
Yes, yeah.
You can
Not,
fit them in, you
Yeah.
know?
not keeping you, hold you to it, but I can't remember, but does it seem like the building tip up will be about within that grant amount?
Oh, yeah, I'm confident the building could be built within your budget,
Okay.
100%. I don't know about the alternate.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the key is building, yeah.
I know when I spoke with Shannon a long time ago, that was the focus.
Okay.
You know,
Are there any thoughts about how it's gonna be used once it's built?
I think, in the initial stage, we were talking about putting a library in there.
yeah,
And then we changed, there was some consternation about that. First of all, they want 7,000 square feet for a library. And this 2,200 wouldn't get it. That's what they're operating now, 2,000 square foot there in Main Street Market. So it wouldn't, you know, in terms of the size of that building, it wouldn't be adequate for that. And I think, I know we need another site like this for just multi-purpose use, so. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Any more questions or comments? Very informative. Thank you for your presentation. You're welcome. Looking forward to having you come back again.
Yeah, we're excited. Can't wait to see this one through. It's always great to see what you've designed get built, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
It's gonna be taller, right?
Taller,
Well,
yeah.
it's gonna move next door.
Every building is taller than the gym.
If I may.
Yeah.
Add, would you have any updates on, I know item 10, are you involved with the Royal Theater,
Oh, is there something on that tonight? I
yeah,
didn't realize, okay.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I could, funny you should, say that, I could talk about that if you need anything.
well, it'd be nice to.
We're gonna have them do it.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, that's okay. Okay, well, right now's the time?
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
No, that's fine. What's your question? Or what do we want to talk about?
Just an update.
Oh, an update. Yeah, Royal Theater is. Let me think about that. We are,
No problem.
yeah,
No
I'm
problem.
just trying to think about the timeline, but, right now we're working through, okay, the plans. Permit is done and paid for and picked up, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Plan checkers.
so we have a bid set ready to go, for Royal Theater. We're working on with, Tom Brandenburry and others. We're working through, the budget and we're working on an audio visual. I personally, right now, I'm working through an audio visual.
That was an add-on, like an add-on design.
Yeah, there's a audio visual consultant who is working through a program for this building and how it will be outfitted with sound and lighting, mixing board, you know, all the refinements and equipment that need to go into it is being put together. And this is a bid package and estimate for that. And that that is, being worked through a couple weeks. We're at 50% in a couple weeks. I'm gonna say about a month away from having that done. And then I know Tom and his group is, working through the next steps on that, on when bidding will occur. I really don't have the answer on the timeline, Todd. Perhaps you.
I'll just kind of mention that we were awarded 2 grants, combined just under 10 million. One is with Economic Development Administration, EDA, and the other one's the California Arts Council grant. One is to refurbish or remodel the existing historic circa 1939, whatever, Art Deco, theater.
Yeah.
And it's on the historic registry. We got it on the federal historic registry, and I think it's on the state historic registry. Then the other grant is for the actual new addition, contemporary style, to make it more of a, good, performing arts and more functional for, doing plays, a green room, the blue room or green room?
Yeah, it's like it functions for small productions, right? Stand-up comedy, right? Stand-up comedy, small productions, it'll function as a movie theater. A lot of the historic aspects have remained on the inside, and even the exterior needs to be maintained. The marquee gets refurbished to its original grandeur, that shouldn't change, it should just get better looking. And then the back is kind of a modern-esque, postmodern, I should say, kind of design, and has a second story, and then actually a roof deck access as well. And that also has facilities for classrooms, that's a kitchen. So, yeah, it functions as a community arts center.
Yeah, how about the seating? How's that? Is there gonna be any kind of change in there in the seating?
Seating remains the same, it doesn't get larger, it's around, I don't remember the seating. 250?
I think there's gonna be a little less.
Yeah, a little less.
Yeah, a little less.
Around 250, I recall.
The reason,
Yeah.
the reason I'm asking, because, you go to some theaters, you go to Fremont or Ventura Theater,
Yeah.
they, they have a seating and also in the front, they took out some of the seat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's gonna be done.
No, this isn't a standing theater, it's seated,
I know that.
all the way through, all the way through the front. There is aspects of accessibility.
Mhm.
So we have wheelchair access now, and it's all compliant for that, but no, it's not intended to be a standing theater.
Not the whole theater. but
Yeah.
Some of the roles are taken out, not, and they also, like, some of the theaters, they put them back when, they want to use the front again, they're
Yeah, I don't,
that option.
this theater has a slope to it.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of flat standing space. I'm not to say that couldn't be done, it just,
Yeah. it'd be
that
hard.
wasn't the plan.
Yeah, it would be nice, though, you see those theaters and you go to shows there and you have your scene and you go to the front, everybody's up there dancing and, just the kind of cool thing to have.
No, it is, no, I know what you're saying, I like the Fremont, I go there on occasion, and it's, yeah.
Is it at a point where we could possibly, as a commission, go do a walkthrough at this point? Where, I don't know if it's not safe.
Oh, no, the building is, it's an unreinforced masonry building, but, a lot of the work we're doing reinforces that and brings it up to code, but I don't think it's a condemned building. It's not
Anytime you want.
not unsafe to go check it out or go inside and.
That'd be nice.
You guys have any interest in going?
I'd love to go, I would love to go.
Yeah, cool. That'd be nice. And by the way, you don't have to go as a group. You probably shouldn't go as a group, but we have access to that.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem to go and look at it.
Todd, are you gonna be our field trip guide?
Yeah, I just have to get the key from him.
Okay.
I think we have a key, we haven't given it back.
I'd love to see the inside.
And you can
at
go
some point.
up where the film projector was.
Yeah.
There's some lights there, I think it has a.
Yeah, we know how to do, yeah.
You got all that?
Yeah,
Could I also add, there's the estimate, we, at least preliminarily, we originally, I think they thought it would be a $10 million project. But now the estimate could be anywhere from 13 to 15 million, depending on how the bids come in. And so the city also has applied for historic tax credits, which will give us an additional 800,000 to 900,000, leaves us with about a $2.2 million gap. So we're looking at different options, and one of the options that the council actually approved at our last council meeting was called a general obligation bond, which would mean that it has to go. The city council approve an agreement at our next meeting to hire a bond counsel, a municipal financing company, and the legal, which would be the bond counsel, to help put together the bond document, make sure they're legal, get the resolutions, and then get it on the ballot for this year and see what the community, if they want to vote for it. And the city also approved or put together a nonprofit, and that's in the process, so that they can go after other types of sources of funding for the project, and not only that project, but other projects as well. So I think we're looking at the first day would be for the project. It's my understanding, because of the grant, March of 25, and the second date is March 27. But I don't think construction, once it gets going, will take, too long.
No, no, that's right, that is a deadline for us, yeah, this is probably a year-long project. But that'll be contingent on the bid, they'll have to make a deadline.
Yeah.
That's part of the bid requirement.
And it also has the amphitheater and
Yeah, there's some nice, I don't have the plans, I'm at a disadvantage, but, there is an outdoor element as well. It's kind of how it meets the street. There's a little, plaza that meets the street, and then there's, a secured outdoor amphitheater. It's kind of the outdoor theater grounds where you can sit and, again, a concrete stage, some lighting and PA system for an outdoor event. So it kind of creates an open park. A good use of space.
and then parking in the back.
Parking in the
There's
back.
not a lot of parking, we're not required to have 300 spaces for it.
You could walk over there.
Yeah.
Shared parking. Shared parking arrangement, yeah.
People coming in on.
Or use the bus.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a very nice presentation. Thank you for
Thank you very
everything. Thanks, Bob. Thank you. We're moving on up. From there, we go to item number 7.
Well, I'll probably excuse myself for the remainder of the meeting, so.
You're not gonna.
Oh, this is on the way home, guys. Thank you, no, thank you so much for having me today, and can't wait to see your faces on the opener when we, or if not before.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody over there, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Good night.
You have a card yet?
No, they're coming soon.
Okay.
And Elise, I don't see anything from the Boys and Girls Club. Did you receive anything from the Boys and Girls Club?
I did not. But Hannah said we should keep it on there just in case they come.
Yes,
Can I add something?
yes,
They need to be here.
Yeah.
yes, we've been telling them.
Well, they were supposed to be, we're supposed to see what they're doing
All the time.
all the time.
Yes.
And, there's some things that we need to discuss with them, so.
Oh,
Is that part of the lease agreement and that they will have to
Yeah.
have it present?
Yeah,
Yeah,
financial.
monthly.
Apparently they're in breach.
In a sense.
and I know that
Yeah, that's a,
Anise is working with them, or?
We are working on the Cinco de Mayo event
Okay.
together.
Okay,
But when I spoke to one of them today, they didn't say if they were coming or not coming to the meeting.
Well, they need to, I mean, it's part of the agreement, so.
I agree, 100%.
In the future, do you have a telephone number we can just call them like in a meeting and they're right here and we give them a call?
Yeah, I have,
Mayor, would that be possible? Would that be something we could
No, we
do?
need to, we need to.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Yeah, right,
have
10,
a
11,
hard
you need to
conversation.
show up.
or a letter of some sort, say, hey, you gotta start.
According to the agreement,
Yeah,
I don't think it's incumbent.
I can help.
on us to
I can
call
help.
them.
yeah, good.
Yeah. I know that there was some miscommunication and them not knowing when the meetings were gonna be, but
Yeah.
I mean, at least sending.
Pretty obvious.
We've changed, been a little bit inconsistent.
well, as of right now, we have it scheduled out for the whole year and we have a nice little diagram calendar, so I can shoot that over to them with
Right.
whatever Todd
Good.
tells us that we should prepare, and then they'll be aware.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, everybody.
Rocking the
for that.
bed.
Those are gonna stay over here. Let's go to item number 8, Jackal Tunnel Turf Project update.
All right, just a couple updates. I emailed. Todd, do you pronounce his name Devon? Is that the new Christine?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. I call him David, but
Oh,
he's the grant writer in the project for Guadalupe where Christine Rose took on another position somewhere else or something. So he's actually been pretty active. So he's in the loop and he's actually just helped us apply for a senior center grant in a federal earmark.
nice.
So that, and there's some other things he's working on already, so.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I emailed him today and just asked for, I spoke with Christine several months ago, just giving her a little bit of a concept of what we're trying to do for Jack O'Connell. So trying to get a one-on-one with Mr. Thomas, just to make sure that he knows what we're looking for. So if he does come across any grants, just like Christine did, she can send them my way and then I can work on the writing and send it back to him to submit. So hopefully by next month, I will have an update saying that I have met with him. There's also another individual that I was able to get in contact with. It's in the state of California, each district, to be a county, I guess, has a representative that handles specific park grants for our county, and her name was Victoria Schlushlers. I don't know, I'm butchering. But I did reach out to her office as well, just with the proposal of Jack O'Connell, what we're trying to do, and making sure that she's aware that as anything comes in for Santa Barbara County, that she does keep me in mind and send information my way. And then I did get on a distro list for Carvajal's office that sends out a monthly email that has all the grants available, and there's quite a few recreation ones that are out there as well. So the first grant that we're waiting to hear back from is the Urban Greening Grant, $1.97-ish million. We'll hear this summer if we get that or not. We haven't heard we've been excluded yet from it, so I'm counting that as good news. And then hopefully, as we're able to pick up some of these other ones, it'll help build out the whole concept. Understanding that it's gonna take more than $2 million to do the entire Field of Dreams, but had quite a few good contacts and a lot of information that there is still quite a bit of grant money out there specific for recreation and that our community qualifies for. So that is all on the Jack O'Connell Turf Project. Yes.
I mean, and just to dovetail off, the city council approved us soliciting for a grant administrator. So not only do we have a grants consulting Townsend public, I forget that, Townsend anyway, to go out and get grants, write them and help, coordinate with staff and yourself and others in different projects, but also have the grant administrator. One thing to write the grants and get them, it's another thing to manage them.
Yeah.
So we're in the process of that, and with our new HR person, she'll be fast. So that'll help sort of keep it organized because it's pretty complicated. You have to be very organized. That's not me.
We'll get someone else to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
And as
So
far as the library, David, he's got some ideas there as well. But we don't have like land for it, for new construction. But that's not a promise. That's just saying we're looking into it.
Can you, if I may,
Yes,
okay, can you add a little bit about that weed cutting over there?
Oh, you mean over?
Yeah, O'Connell, because we're talking about O'Connell.
Oh, so the city is in the process, we contract with Catfield to mow, and we actually have decided that it won't cost anymore. We hire another employee just to handle mowing and after there and all the mowing around the city. And, the Field of Dreams, I guess they call it that.
That's her, that's.
Talking about, oh, the field next to the baseball field where the partially not finished, it froze up long and Cassie was out there and they blew up their mower because it was so bad. So they're gonna come back Thursday to do that, so then Eddie promised me that he's gonna keep that knocked down and probably even spray it at some point, but try to keep it so it's not left uncut and mow it on a more regular basis. But I think it's just like, I'm sure the plants are probably that thick in there and probably, you know, knock the mower out.
This is an update, that field was, the Guadalupe Sports Hall of Fame put about 87,000 into that field. Grading, the hardscape, and everything else, and it has to be mowed because every time it rains, you get the weeds up there, so that, we're still, COVID hit us, the Guadalupe Sports Hall of Fame, so we haven't been able to do much. Now we're starting to generate some more activity with that, so that part, it's a softball and baseball field for that side. And the plan is to actually go to Cal Ripken as opposed to Little League. Because Cal Ripken, you can make your own rules. You don't have to go, and Little League has rules where you have to, you get to choose people, and there's certain element that is not conducive to our community in terms of operations, so, and you can go from T-ball all the way up to middle league type age, so. The plan is still to do something with that, and what we need to do is make sure it's not, covered with weeds, which it is now, so.
Go first.
Mayor, with Cal Ripken, did they require certain dimensions of the field or anything like that?
It's basically Little League dimensions, because it's actually designed, everything is designed, we have the city, the city paid $5,000 for that field, so there's plans already. And then we followed up, the Sports Hall of Fame followed up we're gonna start eliminating some of the requirements, because it was pretty well dialed in. We're gonna spend, what's needed now is irrigation and sod and some of the fencing, so that shouldn't be too much, but it's, when you don't have any planting, it is too much, so. So it's, the same dimensions, but the requirements, like a fence line, you can use this, the yellow-orange tape for a fence. You don't have to have a legitimate fence that Little League would have. You can have and you can make it any dimension that you want. So for little guys and girls, if you only go 30-40 yards out for a home run, then that's, you can do that, so. But it's more, Cal Ripken, if you go to Pismo Beach, you see the fields on the right side as you go through the big boxes, that's Cal Ripken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Cal Ripken. That's, the sheriffs run that. But the sheriffs are really, but we're trying to get them up to start doing something for us too, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are there any measures taken for gopher prevention and?
Make a joke, he was serious.
There's, we have a lot of history with that. The city has what they call a cheetah. I don't know, Enrique knows about the cheetah. It's not an animal, it's a machine. It's a gopher killing machine, so.
I also heard about I guess they use it in Santa Maria. Someone was telling me that they have like a tank and they use it for the
It
irrigation.
blows up.
Well, I know they spray it on it doesn't kill gophers, but it definitely keeps them off.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's, Anise will have to look into that, so.
They're called cat.
Anyway, you gotta stay on these gophers.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere.
There'll be no holes and then all of a sudden you come back the next day and there's
Yeah,
like a
right.
trench
Yeah.
up there.
So it could be the mascot, right? The Guadalupe gopher?
No.
I really go.
Mayor, when I talked to Mr. Thomas about Jack O'Connell and about the field, do you want me to mention about this softball, baseball area
Please,
too?
yeah.
Nice.
Things keep looking up. Love it. Any more comments or questions on that subject? Not, we're going to go down to item 9, Central Park update.
Yes, so at the March 26th city council meeting, they went ahead with the renaming of Central Park to Las Mujeres Park. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. And do you have anything else?
What,
on that-
I saw the minutes on the design, I don't know if,
Oh,
the 75%.
actually, yeah, let me. I'm sorry, I did this in conjunction with Hannah, so I'm not super well versed in all these different details.
You will be.
Yeah, so there are the minutes, it's the second to the last page. It looks like it says 75% construction documents, plan check, status update. They also spoke about the existing residential fencing, the water tower. And they are checking in with the state grantor. Todd, were you at this meeting?
No, but I know something.
Okay. Wanna help
Oh,
me?
the state parks have, I think they had a deadline of 2026, they've extended to 2028. Just in case, and the water tower is kind of a complicated matter because part of the funding, grant was to do art, right? And so Shannon was a pretty good idea was to paint the tower and they had to do theme. The idea, you're maintaining the tower by painting it and priming it and taking the apparatus off and making sure that it's keeping up with the maintenance, but then using art as part of it. Well, the problem now is that we got Verizon who, to remove you can't have, you can't do the work when they're on because of the electromagnetic waves. You have to take it apart and put it onto like a substand and then do the work and painting it. But it's very expensive. So the city attorney is working with a complicated, high-end sort of, attorney that deals with cell tower, negotiation. It's, we're responsible to carry those, wireless, carriers, but to actually dismantle it and put it onto another, it's like $400,000.
Oh, wow.
So there's been ideas like, how interested are we in the water tower? It actually doesn't serve the needs of the community anymore. I mean, it's just sort of a small serving of the need. It really doesn't even need to exist.
Right.
Yeah, that was my question, because we kind of had a discussion on that, is it worth, the money that's gonna take to do what you're talking about? And I was just curious, is it really a functioning water tower?
It is a functioning, it is, but it's not a, it might serve just a neighborhood. It really
Yeah, we
doesn't-
don't really need it.
You don't need it.
For water pressure or something like that? Is that-
That's nothing.
I don't think the citizens are really informed about the water tower. I don't think they really know about
Yeah,
it.
the people think that hold up really dear to our hearts don't understand that it doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah, you don't need it anymore.
And it's only costing us money.
Would there be a possibility of having, Old Orchid has one, they have like a small miniature water tower, would there be a replica, would there be a possibility of getting rid of that one and then having a replica of the old one?
Smaller.
And then still have the cell towers on it.
Yeah, I mean, if it
Because
works
we
out
are
like that.
gonna be responsible as a city because we are under the, like.
Contract, maybe?
Yeah.
Or you could put like artificial tree. out there.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one,
she knows
I
that.
one,
They're
it's like
popular.
a fake tree.
Yeah, they're popular in Arizona.
Probably nicer.
Fine tune the
But it's just, there's a number of different options that the city attorneys were talking with the, cell phone wireless attorneys that are negotiating with Verizon. That's the main one. And there's other ones, but they're the ones that are like being often.
Should we like boycott a certain group or anything like that?
Honestly, that's the part that scares me the most, is trying to figure that out. But the rest of it, you're great, state park and
Yeah.
My son's a huge skater, and he said, that's the only single move design.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do you think the cell phone back and forth is gonna hold up the rest of it, or is it kind of in alignment with these dates we're looking at?
I think that they're saying you can't, you have to get that taken care of almost before they start the rest of the project.
Well,
But to me, it just seems like I don't see why you couldn't.
I don't either. And I know we have a good engineer on the project with Jeff. You know, we talked
That's
about
true.
last
That's
time, having the issue with the water drainage and then even somebody wanted to put a concrete fence from one end to the other, and that was over $1 million just for that. So I think we're just gonna go with a cyclone fence, so. But
Yeah, we
that-
have a good engineer right now.
It's really complex, the power and the painting, and what is it, 207,000 just for that painting up on top. Now, can we?
Isn't it like four?
What's that?
I think it's 400.
400, well,
Just $500,000.
yeah. But I think that, you know, we were out at, anywhere you go in this area, you see the tank.
Yeah.
That tells you, there's what.
There's a side of me that just, it occurred to me thinking, okay, you have to dismantle it too, probably because you gotta take bolts out, and I suppose it could be rough, and you have to. But in my mind, I'm thinking, just shut down the power on it until they paint it. Shut the power it back up, and you're done.
I think that's worth really doing a deep dive on that, because it's coming up, if they're 75% finished with the plan,
Yeah,
Get rolling.
yeah. And I think it needs to be kept on the agenda for both the commission and also council.
Yes, we agree. Any more discussion on Central Park? Questions?
I would just like to comment on, Emily and even Anita and others pushing for the level-headed. You know, you see that with the basketball, how everybody's the women's basketball teams are getting treated like they're second class, and, you know, there's a lot of ladies, women that will do recognition in terms of making things after them, so. I really appreciated you all pushing it.
That was the purpose of finally do something for the women.
Yeah, exactly.
How many parks are named? I don't think it was one, you said?
yeah, so we have one national park and 2 state parks in the state of California. And nationally, it's like less than 3% representation,
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool. I keep thinking like, it'll be cool one day when, you know, it is Women's History Month or Women's Equality Day, and
Yeah.
kids from this town can like talk about the fact that
Look
we
at it,
have a
yeah,
park
so
and
we-
like that it's a cool part of history, so.
I will say this, that if you watched yesterday, the Iowa who played LSU, it was probably I think, the most watched event. on-
More than men, yeah.
More than,
Yeah.
with that woman that shoots these 3-pointers.
Like Joe does.
Yeah, at one point, I think she had what, up to like 41 points
Yeah.
or something, and it looked effortless.
Yeah,
Many years ago, Kobe wanted that to happen too. He was like, I can't wait for people to start watching women's basketball.
Yeah.
So now it's actually happening.
So it's really cool that it got pushed forward, and thanks to you guys too for just backing the idea and the concept, because I think that it's, people kind of expect me to be behind that because, you know, I'm
Yeah.
female on the group, and so it's like, yes, but knowing that none of this would ever come to fruition if there wasn't a whole team of people that were like, yes, we're willing to stand behind it.
what I
So-
thought was interesting is we had some real strong women that were actually kind of like not really in favor of it, which I thought was interesting. A couple, you know, right?
Yeah.
I
I
was,
love
Not mentioning names.
like the one, you know, some people that have had some good opportunities like in their own lives, but I think that it's really important to reflect that like, even if you've had success, it doesn't mean that every single person coming up behind you has had those same opportunities. And so why it's really important to not let it stop at your own success, that you remind yourself that like, there are other individuals, especially women, that haven't had those opportunities. So how can we make it more visible for our community? So I had my 3 minutes. Mayor kept me on time.
Time right here.
Well, and I think what's really important is that, like you were saying, there's some women that have had their moment, you know, have had their success, but I don't think it's the level of what you've done. It's just the fact that you have contributed to the community, to a group of children, to a school, you know, being a teacher, to city council, whatever it is that you've done. It doesn't matter how important it's considered. It just matters that you cared enough to do it. So I think that that's really what this comes down to, is having the community nominate women who they feel have done something that mattered.
Yep.
Influence.
So I'm really glad that you passed it, and I was very proud to be part of this city when the council passed it.
Well, it's unanimous, so it's good.
And it's Women's History Month, which is the
Yes.
cool thing. It passed in Women's History.
Let's move on to item number 11, Guadalupe Adult Softball League.
Yeah, so we have sent out, we've posted all the information for the adult softball league on the website. I've been posting it on social media. The flyers will be going out around town tomorrow. They'll also be posted at the parks. We have the resident fee is $5.35. That's been the same as it was last year. That has not gone up. The registration deadline is May 22nd. And the managers meeting, so that people know well in advance, is the 31st. It will be via Zoom, just to make it easy for everyone. And then the season begins on June 6th. So we're hoping to have as much success this year as we did last year.
Very good.
The city has a title to defend. It's at the trophy still, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we won.
You have an over 60 league?
Yeah.
That's not.
What you can play in this one.
And we're looking for a good success in that league this year again too. Any questions or comments about the city softball league?
No, exciting.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's very successful.
Yeah, I would like to sign up.
You should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The city has a team.
yeah, I'm down.
Or should the Rick get a team? Never mind.
I'll sign up to sell snacks again this year. I did that last year, so I will help you in that way.
Coach.
Okay. Run over there and run back.
He said he's gonna call the team that did go first.
On the sideline.
Order.
That gavel, bro.
Let's go to item number 12. We had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And we only had one team that signed up for the whole time. There was tons of chatter among everybody, my grandson, everybody's gonna get a team and get a team in it, and one team. So we canceled, and I'm going to try again. We're gonna keep trying, we're already talking about for next year. We're gonna try volleyball, maybe 4-on-4. So we're just keep trying. Matter of fact, the other team that signed in, him and myself are going to sponsor team next year. So we're guaranteed people to play and get it going, because we've got to get this going out here in Guad.
Is that for basketball or volleyball?
The next one's gonna be for volley. Oh, go back.
So we have volleyball coming up in July, and then the 3x3 basketball tournament would be March of next year again. So we'll try it over.
Keep trying to.
Yeah.
And I'm planning to order some of the hats for the champions and just wear them around so everybody knows what they're gonna be getting.
All right.
Walking.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep trying.
Keep trying, Joe, keep trying.
Then we go to item number 13, fashion show. Community Changers Little House at that. Our new phone.
Yeah,
Alright, update.
so, fashion show is gonna be happening April 20th at 10:30 a.m. Currently, right now, we have 11, 12 models registered. Funny, 2 of them are from LA.
Is that right?
And I'm like, are y'all gonna really pull up to Guad on a weekend? Like, so that'll be interesting. Yeah. And then we have about 6 designers, but it's growing. I heard a few people are a bit older, so they're like not gonna register. I don't think they're just like, I have stuff, I wanna like put it in. I'm like, just show up, come on. But the registration is helpful because we do plan to meet at 8 AM and we're gonna provide breakfast burritos, so we wanna have kind of head count to make sure people are fed. Gonna be kind of from 8 to 1. But right now I'm like covered in paint. I'm working out of the Red Barn right now. We're doing well, I keep saying we because I love that, like, but it's only been me. It's 2 letters. Yeah.
Get out there.
There's the W and the E.
I'm trying to get it to like gather.
We all know that.
Yes, all of us volunteers know the feeling.
But so working on this work truck that's gonna be NAFTA, and that will be at Center Court, as well as I'm gonna have Beachside donate some boxes, and I want Beachside specifically because it has Guadalupe, California on them, and those will be stacked and kind of bound together, and then on there will be old school labels from past produce, from Heavyweight. We have Lupe and Mustang and Challenger. The old school labels going to be on those. Those will be pretty big. So it'll just be kind of experience that I feel like one, people won't really recognize, because one, I don't think as the fashion show, every time I ask this, I don't think a fashion show has ever happened in Guadalupe. Yeah,
I don't know.
nothing. So really, it's like the first one. So it's an exciting, because it will broaden people's view, and that's why I hope people will see that fashion can include them. Doesn't matter from the background. It's not just like some thing in LA that happens, or some fancy thing that happens that with a stick figure model. It's really, because I really believe in this community of being a hotbed for talent. Not just of course, but it's just creative arts. But it's just people seen
Everything.
correct.
And tap into it.
Right.
Yeah.
You need exposure.
Right. And so this is a good opportunity for people to show off not only their sewing skills, but if models, if somebody wants to model, young or old, any, is exactly how you come. You want to experience having to gather like a portfolio to move on, or maybe gather work, start somewhere. This is a great opportunity for that. I also am going to start to gather volunteers for the day of. If anybody's interested, if anybody listening is interested, please contact myself. You could reach me at info4nuf@gmail.com, NUF. And I reached out to the senior citizens. I've been having on Wednesdays we do arts and crafts, and I talked to them saying if they would like to be, greeters, not really ushers, but more so greeters for that day event. They said they're interested. I think that would be really cool, just because I imagine, different people in the community coming in, and just seeing, a friendly face that's been in the community, it'd be really nice. So they just said, remind them as the day gets closer. So certain things like that, different aspects that, the experience kind of starts as soon as you walk through those doors. That's where I really want to attack it, to where it's at, it's at a kind of more of a level that's just like, oh wow, this is an experience. This is, not just something that's, I would say,
Exclusive.
yeah, I don't want to like downplay Guadalupe being like, a small town, but there's certain things where it's like, raising that level, because sometimes we'll put on something, people are like, oh yeah, it's nice, well, it's a small town, but I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do, how you come across, it's either a good event or it's like okay event. I want this to be a good event. I want to show people, especially the talents, whether it be, 4 people in the crowd or, 40, that, you know, just showing up correct and showing the young kids as well as the, older, adults in the room that just like, this is how we do things. We come correct, you know, we have just talent. We deserve, you know, to showcase them in a beautiful light.
Have you had any contact with the local news stations or anything to see if they'd come out and cover it?
My collaborator has emailed a couple. I emailed somebody last night. I just saw the write-up on the beach opening. I saw my dad's actually on the front page. It's his back.
Yeah,
But I was like, I was in Masatari, I was like, that's my dad. I could just tell. I was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's it. But then at the end of that, I said, oh, if you have any stories, contact this email. So give her an email. And, we'll see if we get a.
Cause I know there's that guy that's interviewed you a few times,
Yeah,
that Jason B's on.
Yeah, Jake, he's
Yeah, he's
jonesing
good.
for, jonesing for. you know,
Yeah, I've seen
stories.
Todd on the news twice now, so.
I'm not
he's always
excited to
like,
do all
I-
this. Kinda quiet, you'd be good on the film there.
If you could reach out to him, or if you could give me his contact,
Oh, yeah.
that'd be great. Because I mean, I want to kind of tout it up. It's the first one, is I guess in quad history. So, and I'm busting my butt to make it really nice. So hopefully you get people to come out and just check it out.
I think that would be awesome if we could get the news to cover it, cause I know like several years ago, we started talking about like change the narrative where people don't think Guad and they think something bad happened. Like they're thinking like this is the place where all the good stuff's happening. So
Good stuff.
you'd be good on the, you could be the face of the event.
Go Ricky Bobby. I don't know in my hand.
It would be a good thing to cover.
Great.
And contact me too. I still have my number.
Okay, I will do.
Item 14, Cinco de Mayo celebration.
Yeah, so this will be the first official event that I'm putting on. I am collaborating, or the city rec department is collaborating with the Boys and Girls Club. Cinco de Mayo event will be on Cinco de Mayo, which is the 5th of May. It's a Sunday. It'll be from 11 to 3 p.m. at the community center, Leroy Park. I have, I think about 8. So I went the route of kind of sponsoring out the kids' activities. This year, we're kind of make it more about the kids, not less about the adults, but, you know, a little more family oriented. So my method was to sponsor out the kids' booths. So reaching out to different organizations in the community and saying, hey, would you like to sponsor the kids' booth? I picked out a range of different activities, simple things that could be purchased online, and I can just send them the link based on their budget. And then I will have tablecloth, chairs, and their signage on their table. All they have to do is show up with their activity that they got sent to their house, and 1 or 2 people to run the booth, depending on what they can do, or maybe they switch out. So we will have a total of 10 to 11 kids activities. I know one of the booths is going to have 2 activities, so that's pretty cool. We also have one of our booths being a photo booth. So they'll actually be able to take home a photo. It could be a family portrait, it could be just them. Totally up to them how that works out. We also have info booths. I was told that that's kind of something that the community enjoys, especially on the medical kind of health side. So I have already reached out to CapSlow, CHC, the Women's Health Mobile Health Unit reached out to me today and confirmed that they will be there. So we have the end covered. I also wanted to bring a little rodeo into it because that's kind of where I came from. And so I reached out to the Kiwanis of Guadalupe and I asked them if they would have their queen candidate show up, just walk around, speak with the kids, help with different booth activities, kind of just mobile, and just let the girls in the room know what's available to them. I feel like that's not something that you think of when you think of an activity. It's like, oh, well, what do I want to do? Be a rodeo queen. Doesn't come to mind right away. So I just want that younger generation to know that it's an option. It's something that they can look forward to and just something to aspire to. We also have vendors that are going to be coming. We have a food vendor. We also have a dessert vendor. kind of keeping it small on that side just because it's kind of nice that they get their piece of the pie, being that they're coming out for us. Working on live entertainment, that's been a little rougher because it is Cinco de Mayo, so a lot of the entertainment,
Headliners are booked.
yeah, they're booked, and I'm coming in behind the 8 ball. I should have had this planned like a month ago. But hey, here we go. We'll definitely have music, and I was promised piñata making, so piñata making.
Wow.
So I think it's gonna be a really fun event. It is free to the community. So that's why I think the sponsoring is awesome. Having the community not just come out and be involved, but be a little invested. I mean, we're talking about like $20 to $25 for an activity. Some of them decided to like propose an activity, which I think is awesome. So like the photo booth, face painting, with FSA, things like that. They're, volunteering their talents. And I think that's awesome that we all come together for that. So I am planning to wrap up the last of the sponsorships this week and get that flyer out. And I hope everyone comes out. And if anybody wants to volunteer, they can reach out to me here at the city. All my information is on the website. And the more the merrier.
Is there gonna be any, like with this discussion or someone providing a narrative on what really happened in Puebla? Cinco de Mayo, the whole underdog story. I mean, that's a good story.
Yeah,
It gets lost in translation here.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that planned, but if you want to volunteer. I think I could definitely make sure that you have a spot on the stage to educate the community on that.
What's the firework budget?
No, there's no firework budget.
Back in the day though, when we were going to school, on 6th of September, we were always taught what they mean.
Yeah.
And for years and years, and I don't know when they stopped, but it was cool back then, And any day that 6th of September landed on, and during the week, there was no school that day, and there was a parade that day.
Yeah.
We knew what it meant. We knew what the grito was, the hidalgo, we knew all that.
Well, unfortunately. Yeah, we got some passion up here. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day, which it is not.
No.
It is not. It's far from it. So I think that that's really cool. And if you do want to chat about it at the event, or if you know someone that's good at, I want to say storytelling, but giving that information in a positive way that the community, especially the youth in the room, can understand or grasp to a certain extent, I would love to put that into play. So let me know. You have my email.
It'd be a cool element to add,
Yeah.
not a full reenactment,
Minimum
but
of flyer.
story, that'd be awesome.
They could read.
Yeah, and it's an
Yeah.
idea, so maybe we can find something.
Yeah, put something together and
Library, are
send
they
it to
doing
me.
a table?
They are. The friends of the library are doing the table,
Okay.
not the library. But
I think there's a teacher that, I don't know if he'd be interested in it, Mr. Aquea. Over here. No, I think it's at McKinney now. I mean, Aquea, I'll see if I can get a hold of him. He might wanna, love to do something like that.
Quick little speech, yeah, that'd be.
Did the school have something? You better hit Handela.
if they're doing something for
Yeah.
Cinco de
have
Mayo.
them- Have them with a booth of.
No, I have not reached out to the school. But
Yeah, Handel will do
Okay.
something.
Maybe she can put it to their
I can
staff.
send you this information.
yes,
They give it
please
to
send me
their
that.
staff. Their staff might have multiple people
Yeah.
wanna do activities.
Okay,
That would be great.
sounds good.
I think they do a big push in May too for getting kids starting to get registration, especially for the pre-K transitional kindergarten and stuff, so it could be
Oh,
good.
so more of an info booth,
An
maybe?
info booth, but then also do something like this.
Okay. All right, anybody that does find information or someone that is interested in either doing a live 2 or 3 minute speech or history kind of session, or if you want to do something like a flyer, to, you know, have them reach out to me with the flyer made and ready to go. Or have a speech ready to go, because this is a great suggestion and I'm all for putting it into place once it's put together.
Sounds great. Very good. Anybody have any questions, comments? Mr. Mayor?
I do. I'm very pleased the way the commission's going now, and the council's pleased. I think the community's pleased, and hearing, activities for the youth is very important, because you don't see a lot of that. When we have 3,700 kids under the age of 18, when you got, and Joe knows all this about this, when you have, 5 kindergartens, there needs to be youth activities, and I also want to mention to you, Anise, that you may feel overwhelmed with things that may be happening. Don't feel that you're alone in this thing. You have 5 people up there, and you have the council that are really supportive of what you do and what you folks do up there. So it's looking good. You got Leroy Park, you got Central Park, you've got O'Connell Park, you've got all these things that are going. So it's you know, people. We were at the beach today. After the ribbon was cut that Saturday at 7:30, and I mentioned at the council meeting, 7:30 in the morning Saturday was full. There's only 53 parts, and then we went Sunday at about no, it was Easter. No, I went Sunday and it was also full, like about 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I went Easter and we couldn't get in because it was full. We went out there today. I have 2 great granddaughters. They wanted to go to the beach, and it was 90% full. And in the parking lot, Lenny was an old timer here, showed up, and he said that we asked, there were some people that were walking by and said, "This is a lovely place." And he said, "Yeah, we love it here." He said, we thought, "Well, where are you from?" "Well, we're from Napomo." Then Napomo loves Guadalupe. They love Guadalupe. So I think get into sports, get into recreation, especially for kids, and not only active sports, but you have passive recreation, but just like the art stuff. That's very important. Just like the band at the school. When the band was there, that was very important, music preparation for kids, and we need to get back and doing stuff like that. And Michael has the group out of Fresno that does all these things. Wish we could bring them over here, and that's where you need to connect with Michael to see what they offer for youth.
Service.
Yeah, sir. But what's his name? Armando.
Yeah.
I mean, that was powerful stuff that they offer youth, the plays and things. That connects to the theater, getting a theater going, getting the production going, where the communities can start producing these things, which they do in Fresno. Yeah, so there's a lot happening, but I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we have a full group. So, that's my comment.
So to add, I think the energy in this room speaks volumes, and which direction we're going with this, you know, it's gonna, this energy is great, you know, it's gonna evolve from there. A lot of things are happening in the community. Got a great board, and at some point, you know, I may leave this board, but you know, just bringing some more energy, you know, just bringing the same attitude, trying to get people to do a lot of things. You may leave this board, did you say?
No, definitely, since I've been on this board and I seen all the changes. It's all been good. I've never seen what's happening with this kind of city community, and good things are happening.
City on the move.
We're here to keep it going.
I do have a comment that Amelia asked me to pass on from the HR department, just as a reminder. There is the $100 per meeting stipend. Did you guys get that email?
I
got it.
I might have seen
Okay. So she would like me to remind you to please stop by the HR office so you can get your paperwork done for that. So if you could do that in the next week or two, that'd be awesome.
The tax free.
Probably not.
Bills.
Yeah.
They're gonna get $87.
I had a quick, we were talking earlier and, Anissa, we were talking about, the outdoor, movies. Idea, it'd be cool maybe, to collaborate with, the social club and they have such a nice back area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Do
idea.
like a movie back there, but like an adult, we could do.
Adult
like a-
version of
yeah.
the movie night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could have alcohol, but also, we don't have to worry about a kid friendly movie, it could be.
Somewhat.
Be careful.
Please, please. Something, please.
I just watched the Bronx Tale. Oh my gosh, first time I see it, nobody ever exposed it, I was just like, what a great film.
it 5 times, then you know.
I know, yeah, no, yeah, so maybe something along those lines of just, I thought that'd be, fun.
Brandon, do you have any outdoor movies scheduled?
Yes, so in my meeting with the Boys and Girls Club, Hannah was there and she was talking about how, I think maybe just once, the Boys and Girls Club was actually open during the movie night. And on that same night, the mobile farmers market, or does it have another name?
Route 1 Farmers Market.
Route 1 Farmers Market was there. So all three of us were there at the same time. It was very successful for the farmers market. The Boys and Girls Club had a good amount of people coming in and out, and obviously our movie did well as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we're kind of looking forward to maybe doing something like that again. I have reached out to the Boys and Girls Club with my schedule. I have the movie schedule starting in June, and it's lined all the way out through December. I've penciled in the dates. So I sent dates over for the first 2 or 3 months just to check for their calendar. And then my goal after I get their okay, because obviously I'd love to have both of us open, is then reach out to the Route 1 Farmers Market and see if they can come as well, just because I think that would be a good way to support them and get the word out. People are already there anyways. Everyone needs some produce, so it just kind of works out. So yes, we have them planned. They're not set in stone yet, but they are starting in June. Regardless of if the Boys and Girls Club can be open or not, they will start in June.
I'll help out too.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
All right, no other questions, comments?
One last plug, Bulldogs cheerleading and football is registration, and early bird special ends the end of April. So if you know any aspiring cheerleaders or football players between the ages of 7 and 14, we are doing online registration, and on all of the flyers, Enrique and I's phone numbers are on there, and people can reach out if they have any questions. But signups are going very good. We're getting a lot of kids registering early, so it's exciting to see new kids coming out too. But continue to put the word out.
Sounds good.
What's the cost then?
200 right now. The first special that after April, is 250.
Also, quick plug, but we'll have a poetry jam April 12th at the Betts Hall, 6 to 8.
But not anymore. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment at this time. I have a motion to adjourn in a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, signify by saying aye. This meeting is now adjourned. We want to thank you for inviting us into your homes.
Thank you.